Good morning, scholars. Happy Friday. It is Miss Rossi and Niece Maya. Can you say hi? This is my niece Maya. She's going to do a little bit of the video with me today. Okay, happy Friday. We're going to get started doing some learning. I'm so happy to see my first grade GLA scholars today. We are going to practice reading a brand new book, and we are going to grow our brains for second grade. I can't wait to play with you or to read with you. Okay, let's get started with making inferences. Remember, when we make an inference, we're making a guess on the based on the text. We're making a guess. We're making a guess. So when we make inferences, we need two things. Pause your video and tell me what two things we need to make an inference now. Good. We need text evidence and schema. We need good text evidence and schema. And don't forget, schema is what you know. Schema is. So it's all that smart stuff that you have in your brains. It's what you know about something. Nice job. Let's practice our sentence stem that we can use to answer inferential questions. Take your finger, put it underneath the first word. We're reading together on 2. 1, 2. In the story, I read blank. So that makes me think blank. Okay, let's do our hand motions with it this time. Ready? In the story, I read blank. So that makes me think blank. Very good. Now, friends, today we're going to be reading a book and we're going to be answering inferential questions. So you're going to need text evidence and schema to make a guess based on our new text today. Let's go ahead and get started with our book. It's called The Woodpecker. It's called The Woodpecker. Now, a woodpecker is a bird, and it looks just like this. You can see in the picture. This is a woodpecker, and a woodpecker is a bird that pecks wood. So a woodpecker can peck a house, it pecks a tree, it pecks anything that's wood. And we can see in the word woodpecker that we have two words that we already know. This is called a compound word. It's called a, so we say woodpecker, woodpecker. Do with me. Woodpecker, woodpecker. Your turn. Woodpecker, woodpecker. All right, nice job. Let's go ahead and get started reading The Woodpecker. All right, friends, go ahead and pause your video and read through the words on these pages now. Awesome reading. Don't guess your words. Make sure that you are reading through the words. I forgot to tell you the character's name is Kenan. His name is Kenan. His name is, all right, so this is Kenan. All right, go ahead and read the words on these pages and pause your video now. Nice reading, friends. All right, let's see what the woodpecker is going to do in our book. Go ahead, pause your video and read the words on these pages now. Nice endurance. Oh, something juicy happening in the book. Pause your video and read the words on these pages now. You want me to read to you? Okay, I'll read to you after this, okay? Pause your video and read the words on these pages now. Pause your video and read the words on these pages now. Nice endurance, friends. You're almost there. Ooh, let's see what Kenan is going to do about the woodpecker. Pause your video and read the words on these pages now. Pause your video and read the words on these pages now. I also want you to read the why a woodpecker taps part. So I want you to read the information on the bottom of the page about why a woodpecker pecks at the wood. Pause your video and do that now. I'm going downstairs. Okay. Pause your video and read the words on these pages now. Bless you. Oh, what is Kenan doing on this tree, friends? All right, pause your video and read the words on these pages now. Pause your video and read the words on these pages now. Oh, it's getting silly. Oh, what's Kenan doing? Let's see if Kenan solved his problem. Pause your video and read the words on these pages now. Nice job, friends. Good endurance. You're almost there. Pause your video and read the words on these pages now. And our last page is our glossary page. So I want you to pause your video and read the words and their definitions now. All right, let's go back. Nice reading, friends. Nice reading through the words. Nice sounding your words out and not guessing. Now we're going to go back to the beginning of our book and we're going to answer questions. Remember, when we're answering an inferential question, we're going to use our sentence stem. We're going to use our, very nice, okay. First question is, why was Kenan dreaming about pounding a giant rock? Why was Kenan dreaming about pounding a giant rock? Ooh, okay, let's use our text evidence and our schema. Friends, I want you to pause your video and answer that question now. Get ready for it, man, to do it. In the story, I read that Kenan was dreaming about a pounding sound. And I know in the story that what was making the pounding sound outside? The woodpecker. So Kenan is dreaming of pounding because he hears a woodpecker pecking at the tree outside. Ooh, all right, like, nice job if you got that inferential question correct. Let's go to the next page. There is no dream, he thought. Why was no one at the door when he answered it? Why was no one at the door when he answered it? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that no one was at the door. That makes me think that it was the woodpecker that was making noises and not somebody at the door. So Kenan thought that somebody was knocking or pounding at his door, but it really was the woodpecker. That's right. All right, what sound does the woodpecker make? What sound does the woodpecker make? Pause your video and answer that question now. Good job, Maya. The woodpecker makes tap, tap sound. Good. In the story, I read that a tap, tap came from above. So that makes me think that a woodpecker makes a tap, tap sound. Very nice. Next question. What does Kenan say to the woodpecker? What does Kenan tell the woodpecker in the text? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that Kenan says, shoo. He says, shoo. He says, shoo. Good job. He says, shoo. What happened to Kenan every morning? What happened to Kenan every morning? Pause your video and answer that question now. Every morning, the woodpecker woke him up. Every morning, Kenan shooed the woodpecker away. And every morning, the woodpecker kept on tapping. So every single morning when Kenan woke up, the woodpecker was at the tree and he tried to say shoo, but the woodpecker kept on tapping. Nice using your text evidence for that question. Let's go to the next page. What did Kenan do to try to solve his problem? What did Kenan do to try to solve his problem? Pause your video and answer that question now.
The woodpecker came back again.
Good. In the story, I read that Kenan tried earplugs. He tried to put earplugs in his ears, kind of like this. Look, Miss Rossi has these here. He tried to put earplugs in his ears so that he couldn't hear the woodpecker. Friends, do you think that worked? No. Let's see what happens even when he has earplugs in his ears. Oh, the woodpecker is still going. What did Kenan think the hole in the tree was? What did Kenan think the hole in the tree? Look at my Miss Rossi's highlighter. Here's the hole in the tree. What did Kenan think? What did Kenan think the woodpecker? What did Kenan think the hole was in the tree? Pause your video and answer that question now. That's right. It's in the story I read that Kenan saw a hole in his tree and he said it must be the nest. It must be the nest of the woodpecker. So Kenan, that makes me think that Kenan thinks that the woodpecker lives in the tree. Whoa. Kenan thinks the woodpecker pecked, 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 and made a nest in the tree. This gave him an idea. Let's see what Kenan does. What does Kenan bring to put in the tree? What does Kenan bring to put in the tree? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story I read, that Kenan had a big plastic owl under his arm. And I see in the picture that Kenan has an owl. So pause your video and tell me what you think Kenan is going to do with the owl. Pause your video and answer that question now.
He's gonna put it in the tree.
In the story I read that he put the owl in the hole in the tree and climbed back down. Oh, let's see. That's right. So he put the owl in the hole in the tree so that the woodpecker wouldn't peck anymore. Let me reset this page. Why did Kenan go to sleep with a smile on his face that night? Why did Kenan go to sleep with a smile on his face? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story I read that Kenan went to sleep with a smile on his face. And I read in the story that he put the owl in the hole. So that makes me think, ooh, let's see, I know that Kenan is happy and I know that he covered up the hole. So that makes me think that Kenan thinks the woodpecker went away. Kenan thinks that the woodpecker went to a different tree and that he can sleep soundly. He can sleep peacefully. Let's see if that happens. Uh-oh. What sound does Kenan hear the next morning? Pause your video and answer that question now.
Came back again.
He hears tap, tap. So the woodpecker is back again. What did Kenan fill the new holes with? What did Kenan fill the new holes with? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story I read that Kenan filled it with old rags. So he has some rags in his hand. He's going to fill the holes with the rags. Friends, why do you think Kenan is filling the holes the woodpecker makes? Why is Kenan filling up the holes that the woodpecker makes? Pause your video and answer that question now.
And the woodpecker takes a lot of days.
Looks like a lot of days. Friends, in this story, I know that the woodpecker is making holes and making loud noises in the tree. So that makes me think that Kenan is trying to cover up the holes in the tree so that the woodpecker will be quiet so that he can go to sleep. Let's see what happens. What does it mean that new holes showed up daily? I see this word daily that is in bold. What does it mean that new holes showed up daily? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I know in the back that I see the word daily in our glossary. And daily means every day. Daily means every day. Daily means every day. Good. So how often did the holes show up? Yes, they showed up every day. They showed up. Good. What were some of the things that Kenan put in the tree? What are some of the things that Kenan put in the tree? Pause your video and answer that question now. In the story, I read that Kenan put tin cans, a clown mask, and even a stuffed dinosaur in the tree. Good text evidence for that one, my friend. Nice job. Friends, did this solve Kenan's problem? No, silly. The woodpecker is still here and still making lots of noise. Uh-oh. Let's see. My next question is, why does Kenan say, "Where is my saw"? Why does Kenan say, "Where is my saw"? Pause your video and answer that question now.
came back again.
Uh-huh. In the story I read that Kenan says, no tree, no nest, no woodpecker. He's looking for his saw. I'm going to use my schema to think what a saw does. What does a saw do, friends? A saw cuts things down. So that makes me think that Kenan is going to cut down the tree with his saw. All right, let's see. Nice job. If you got that inference correct, he's going to use his saw to cut down the tree so he can solve his problem. Let's see what happens. How does Kenan feel after he cuts down the tree? How does Kenan feel after he cuts down the tree? Pause your video and answer that question now.
It turns into a bush.
In the story I read that Kenan says, now I can finally get a good night's sleep. What do we call it when somebody is so happy when things are done, or someone is so glad that something isn't happening? We learned about this word in our classroom. The word is relieved. The word is relieved. The word is relieved. Yes, he feels relieved like this. Oh, he feels so relieved because now he can get a good night's sleep. All right. What happens 1 week later? What happens to Kenan 1 week later? Pause your video and answer that question now. He's standing on a tree. In the story I read that 1 week later, he hears rat, tat, tat, rat, tat, tat. Oh my goodness, he hears that sound again. What do we think happens? What was the woodpecker doing this time? Pause your video and tell me what the woodpecker was doing this time.
He was packing the tree, the house.
In the story I read that the woodpecker was hanging off the gutter, tapping. So the woodpecker, in the story I read that the woodpecker was now tapping against the gutter of the house, like tap, 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 tap. Wowzer. What did Kenan say that the pecking sounded like? What did the pecking sound like to Kenan? Pause your video and answer that question now.
Well, the woodpecker's trying to tap it, but
in the story I read that the tapping sounded like fireworks. It sounded like fireworks. It sounded like, oh, and this word, we're going to look at this word fireworks, friends, because this is another compound word. It's a compound word. Remember, compound word is when we have two words that make one word. So in the word fireworks, we have fireworks, fireworks. Good, do it with me, hands up, here we go. Fireworks, fireworks. Good, your turn. Fireworks, fireworks. Nice job. All right. Did the woodpecker go away when Kenan said shoo? No, it says the woodpecker kept on tapping. All right, the end. Nice job. Okay, my last question for you, my challenge question, my second grade question is, how do you think Kenan can solve his problem? How do you think Kenan can solve his problem of the woodpecker? Pause your video and answer that question now.
maybe because the woodpecker tapping and tapping and tapping every day.
In the story, I know that Kenan tried to cut down the tree to solve his problem, but that didn't work. And now the woodpecker is pecking at his house. So that makes me think maybe Kenan should build a house for the woodpecker so that the woodpecker can have a house and then he's not ruining the trees. Or maybe Kenan can get other birds in his yard to get the woodpecker to go away. So that is what Miss Rossi would do if I was trying to solve my problem of getting the woodpecker to go away. Nice job, my friends. Okay, I have one more question I want you to answer before we end. Tell me one strategy that you used. One strategy that you used to figure out a word in the text. Did you guess? Did you read through the word? Did you cross-check? Did you look for your blends, ends, and vowel teams? What strategy did you use to figure out the words in this book? Pause your video and tell me the answer to that question now.
Maybe she says.
Hold on, one second.
She's tapping.
You should have used a strategy like read through the word. You could have read through the word. You could have cross-checked. You could have. Good. You could have looked for your blends, ends, and vowel teams. And you could have chunked your letters. You could have. Nice job, my friends, in your text today. I am so proud of you for all of your hard work. I'm so happy that you got to read with me today. Remember, we only have 2 more weeks of first grade, and then we're going to be second graders. So good job with your reading. Keep practicing. Today, I want you to watch Miss Marcia's video, Miss Javdi's video, Miss Trini's video. I want you to play 30 minutes of Lexia and 30 minutes of Zern. And I want you to read 2 more books. I want you to read. Excellent job, friends. You are doing a great job. I am so proud of you. I miss you so much, and I love you also. Maya, you want to say bye?
No.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.